Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to Retold, the podcast where I retell you my favorite story of all time, Harry Potter. Usually, I go through the books 2 chapters at a time, recapping some of my favorite lines and highlighting behind the scenes things, doing some trivia, all that fun stuff. But today is a little different. We just finished up our coverage of Chamber of Secrets, and before we move on to the Prisoner of Azkaban, I just had a few fun episodes in the in between. Last week we got to cover some fan fiction, and this week I have on the line. This is a very special episode, listeners. You're in for a treat right now. I have I have on the line Avatar: The Last Podcasters, Sean and Chris. How's it going, y'all?
It's going great.
Doing great. It is a great pleasure to be on here. Great pleasure to meet you, Barry, very formally. And you make us think higher of ourselves.
You do. There's two things that make me think higher of myself than I deserve. And one is the nice things you said about us. And two is when we get the free Avatar books from the publisher when those shows up in the mail.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that makes me feel so good.
What about when y'all do like the panels at cons?
Yes, that's
the panels.
That was the third one.
You're right. Those are my top 3 things that make me up here.
Yeah. Honestly, those all 3 are crazy. Like, oh, someone's giving me free books. It was like, oh, we have 300 people for this panel. It's like, oh, Barry said all these nice, wonderful things about us.
Barry quoted bits of our episodes from like 6 years ago back to us that I forgot existed.
Well, listeners, in case you haven't picked up on it, I've been listening to this podcast for a very long time. Since 2019, Avatar: The Last Podcasters is the very first podcast that I ever listened to. When I first met my wife, I remember we were at our church with the young adult group outside, and they were talking about Avatar. And then somebody says, hey, Barry, did you ever watch Avatar? And I was like, yeah, when I was in like middle school. And that they all hated me for that because I belittled Avatar: The Last Airbender. And my wife said, if you're going to date me, you need to watch this show. And so I watched the show and I binged that sucker. I got into it. I was like, this show, I regret my condescending remark. This is amazing. This is the most amazing show. And listeners, when I finished this, I needed more. I was fiending for more. I could not let go of the Avatar universe. And so somebody said, you should listen to a podcast about it. And I was like, fine, let me go find one. And they have the most ingenious name. It's, guys, Avatar: The Last Airbender. And they're Avatar: The Last Podcasters. It's genius, all right? They popped right up on the RSS feed, clicked on them, listened to them, and the rest is history.
It's so funny that when we made that name, because we thought that podcasts at that time were already becoming like old hat. And then it's like the Kelsey brothers started theirs, and now there's weird resurgence of college NIL money. So every big college coach has a podcast. This is weird respike in pod popularity.
Yeah.
And at the time, I thought we were so clever for coming up with that name.
It's genius.
And even at the time, like podcasts were only audio.
Just audio,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, like most of them were only audio. We do both on YouTube and audio. Mm-hmm. Hopefully hopefully it's on different places you can find. Yeah. I'll let Sean handle it. But anyway, yes, thank you.
And listeners, you should check out Chris. You may know him by another name, The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter fame, as Sean usually says on every episode. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for coming on. Could you tell us just a little bit about your podcast?
Yeah. We apparently started in 2019. Or did we? I don't know when we started.
I think it was 2018 or 17.
Late 17, I bet.
Late 17? Holy crap, Sean. We've been doing this for a while. Yeah.
They got that
like I've had 2
listeners.
Kids. I've had 2 kids since... No, just one.
Yeah, you did. You've had 2 children since then.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Maybe, I don't know. They're around. Yeah, so
Details.
We have podcasts named Avatar: Last Podcasters. We've reviewed every single episode of Avatar and Legend of Korra
scientifically,
and have been scientifically. Thank you. We break down every single episode to have like the most scientific rating system. We rate every episode by audiovisual story and memorability, and has different weights, and we go through, rate each one. Try to be very objectively. So every episode is ranked, but we go beyond that. That we might have finished both TV series probably 4 or 5 years ago. But we're pretty much every week podcast, and every week we talk about something new. Avatar. We somehow never run out of topics, and universe keeps going. And honestly, being somewhat genuine here, I feel like the podcast is really just an excuse for me and Sean to keep being friends and keep in touch and stuff, and keep each other
100%.
lives. Because I am terrible at that. That is one of my biggest faults as a person.
It's
But
nice.
podcast is great. Great tool.
Yeah, I
for
think
that.
that's one of the things that makes y'all show so special is that that podcasts covering certain subjects are like a dime a dozen. You can find there's other Avatar podcasts out there, but it's like I don't keep coming back for the Avatar content. I come back for you guys to listen to like I because I've been listening for so long. I enjoy hearing updates about your lives, and as weird as that sounds, and hearing y'all have fun together. It's cool. I really enjoy that part of the show.
Come for the Avatar, stay for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tabletop card game advice.
I even listened to a few episodes of Sean's Pokemon podcast.
That was fun while it lasted. It hit some bad times, but I enjoyed that. That was good. Good time.
Yeah. And then, y'all also covered a little bit of some other media too, like Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan, which
Yeah.
I did. That's a lot of peer pressure. Okay, I want to just point out that's a lot of peer pressure attacking me from every angle in my life.
Have you finished Attack on Titan?
Yep. We did. Did we do 3 episodes on Attack on Titan?
Did 3 episodes on Attack on Titan. It was a lot.
It probably took Gio and I, because he was playing a lot of soccer, but we wanted to watch together, and also I'm bad at picking up details. I needed him to be there to be like, did you pay attention to that? And I'm like, no. And then we'd have to rewind it. So it probably took us 4 months to watch all of Attack on Titan.
I just started watching it. I'm on like episode 11. I'm at the part with the.
Oh my gosh! I don't want to.
Oh, I've already Googled everything that happens because that's what I do.
Oh, don't do that.
I know how the show ends.
Sean claims that spoilers don't affect watching things. We disagree on that.
Okay,
I'm certain it does.
You have to quote me correctly. Spoilers don't make a thing less good. It either still is good or isn't good. It might change your watching experience, but it either still is good or it is not good. One or the other.
I'm scared of saying this because I know like Chris is going to hate me the moment I say it, but like I'm one of those people that like middle of the movie I Google the ending if I'm too stressed out because like I got to know.
That is weird, but I do. But I do understand like watching something that is stressful watching, and that's why I think I've read about or saw something about this about how like why do we rewatch things because like we know what's going to happen, and it gives you a sense of not that sense of stress, and so I kind of understand where you're coming from.
The same reason I buy the same type of cereal every week, Chris. It makes me feel good.
No, what was it like with the I remember the first ever episode of Game of Thrones I watched was the last episode because
Game of Thrones.
I was reading I just started reading the books and I was like, dang, these books are good. I think I'm missing out. And the show was literally like about to come out with the last episode. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'll never get the experience of watching an episode live.
Okay, that becomes funnier.
I'm gonna watch it.
No, that becomes funnier with Game of Thrones and the books. Like you reading the books and then jump into the TV, the last episode, like the divergence there. I think that makes that even more amusing. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh my gosh!
But it really started with Game of Thrones is why I started looking up spoilers because I'd be reading the books and I'd go, I know this guy. I've heard this guy kills everybody. I got to know how much longer do I have with him. And like I straight up at the beginning or in book 2, I Googled like, when does this character die? When does this character die? And I was like, okay, I got 2 more books. I'm good to go.
That's funny.
Talking about Harry Potter specifically, as I still remember my friend, he didn't spoil the ending, but he just was like one of those smug guys. The other Tracy Ford, Chris, the other Tracy Ford is one of those smug guys. Is like, yeah, she had the final chapter of the last book written. after she wrote the second book or whatever. And I just remember being like, why is that important to me right now? Why are you bringing this up? Is that a blue?
I know like and the listeners, by the way, this is a spoiler-filled episode. I'll say that probably in the intro for it. But I think the most famous like Harry Potter spoiler is, and it's even in media today, and it was going around at the time too. In random TV episodes, people would just be like, "By the way, Dumbledore dies," and then they would move on. I was like, "What the heck? Why would you do that?"
In the time of that book release, that was like the biggest. Heather, do you remember when the 6th book released and everybody's talking about there's a big thing, but I can't tell you about it, and it's like one person would say it out loud in a hallway at school or something. Yeah, and it was a huge deal.
Well, listeners, you may be wondering, why do I have Avatar people on a Harry Potter podcast? First of all, it's my podcast and I'm gonna do what I want. Second, we are doing something Harry Potter related. We are going to take, and so listeners, if you're not fans of Avatar, you may want to like skip ahead to the Potter section. But we're gonna talk about in the Avatar universe, if you don't already know, there are 4 types of bending elements, and we're going to try to figure out what bending elements each Harry Potter character might be most inclined to do, what they might have been gifted with. And then we're also going to flip the script. Actually, and this is the one we're going to do first. We're going to take Avatar characters and try to sort them into houses. And we all have lists, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and you're going to enjoy this, and you're going to think best episode ever. But before we get to that, I'm going to ask our lovely guests some more questions about their Harry Potter fandom. So first, fellas, I always ask every guest for their fandom ID. And this concept, I get it from a show called MuggleCast. Essentially, it's what is your Hogwarts house? What is your favorite book or movie? And how did you get into Harry Potter? So whichever of you wants to go first, go ahead and take it away.
I've got the perfect answers to all these things, Barry. I'm a Ravenclaw.
And this is Sean, listeners, by the way. Just
yeah. Hi, my name's Sean.
You've already said it, but I just want to remind people.
Yeah. And I'm a Ravenclaw. And the favorite book is the 4th, Goblet of Fire. Favorite movie is the 6th, because they had like an enjoyable sense of teenage angsty humor into the 6th that I like. And I got introduced to the series because maybe a full year after the first book came out and it like got pretty popular. The other Tracy Ford, his parents are like my godparents, and they gave it to me for Christmas. And then like every year for the next 3 or 4 years until there was a bigger gap, I got the books for Christmas.
Heck yeah. And that you said that was from the other Tracy Ford?
Yeah, Chris Ford's wife's name is Tracy. And then my like oldest friend like grew up a mile from me, and his birthday is like 2 months after mine. His name is Tracy Ford also. So I
was just gonna say, what a wonderful friend.
Cousin, everything. So he's the other Tracy Ford, and then Chris's wife, Tracy Ford, and that's the distinguishing criteria.
That makes me think of in high school. I remember when I was a freshman, a friend of mine and I, same class, we were talking to this senior, and I said, "Hey, Taylor," that's the senior's name. I was like, "Did you know that this guy is also dating a girl named Kayla? Because that guy's had a girlfriend named Kayla." And he goes, "Oh, cool. Not the same one, is it?" That's what that made me think of.
Solid comeback.
What about you, Chris?
Harry Potter house. It's interesting because I feel like my fandom IDs are always boring. Like when it comes to Ninja Turtles, for some reason I am Donatello, even though he's my least favorite Ninja Turtle.
I mean, you're wrong, but yeah,
we'll get into Avatar loop. It's just growing up, like looking at me and my sisters and my like that's if I put us all in something, I would be Donatello. So when it comes to Harry Potter, I even took the quiz and everything, and it was Hufflepuff.
And how do you feel about that?
And it felt right. Like I know it's not Slytherin, it's not Ravenclaw. Hufflepuff felt the most accurate from what I've because I've only ever seen the movies, and so Hufflepuff really doesn't get that much shine in the movies. It's really a Gryffindor, a Slytherin.
Hey, the main character
I
in Fantastic Beast, he's a Hufflepuff.
mm Oh, okay. And so Hufflepuff I seem to align more so with Hufflepuff. And again, the Badger and stuff. It's like, why? It's like I'm not happy about it, but like, all right.
Okay, bunch of duffers is what they're called.
Like, and I know Gryffindor doesn't. To me, Gryffindor is like all bravery and stuff, and just like I don't know, just anyway, yeah.
I'm not brave. I don't want to.
Yeah. When it comes to favorite movie, I didn't read any of the books. I've only ever read probably 12 books in my life, and half of them are Avatar books. I like reading books when I read them. I just don't read books often. And so, but I've seen all the movies. Love the movies. Like, I love the films. They're like kind of a yearly watch around the holidays. I am on record saying the Harry Potter films are better than the Star Wars films. Like, I adamantly believe that. So which movie's best? It's a very basic answer, which is like the last movie. Like, everything's coming together. You feel like it's dramatic, it's big, it's epic. There's war, it's a battle, people are dying. It's just the culmination of everything you're building up to. Like I say, it is a very easy answer. But
no, I love it. I like in the 8th movie, I always think of, anytime I think about that movie, the scene when they're running, when the trio's running through the courtyard during the battle, and each monster that they run into is tracking their journey through the series, because it's like they run into a troll first, and that's from the first movie, then the spiders, that's from the second movie, and it keeps going along like that, something from each one. I was like, oh, that's good directing. So great movie. All right. And then the other question want to ask before we hop into our main event is, as a professional Avatar talkers, I want to ask, what is your bending element?
Chris, you go first on this one.
Yeah, I'll go first. And again, it's kind of the more boring element, I think, to some people. I am, and I feel good about this, I am 100% an air nomad. Like,
oh yeah?
It is. I'm pretty chill, go with the flow. Like, I always think about this quote from one of the Yang Chen novels, where she's talking to someone about being an air nomad. She's like, "Do you know what it means to be an air nomad? It means you're able to sit in a room and just be there and just be completely still and fine with being there by yourself." She was like, "The bending comes second after that." And I was like, "I get that. I understand." Like,
it makes sense that you don't call Sean often.
Like, when I was a kid, I would climb trees and just sit in the tree, and as the wind blew, just hear the leaves rustle around me, and just be in such calmness.
Leaves from the vine.
I know, just love the feeling of wind. Yeah, I'm absolutely an airbender.
Have you seen? I'll send it to you guys on Instagram after this. But the video of that guy with the slicked back blonde hair, he wears the suit, holds his hands like right in front of him, and he talks like this.
Yes.
And then he
So
says,
let's make a trade guy.
Yeah, I
No.
maybe. I don't know if he does.
He'll go through a series and be like, yes, how six legs.
He has one for
like that.
Avatar.
He did have Avatar. He's like, what does he say about? I forget what he said. But yeah, he does. He did one for Digimon, where he's like,
that one. That one was funny.
Give the mouse the right to bear arms, and like he just goes through like every single one. He's like, what if he put jeans on this one? And he's like,
well, he like documents the transformation, and it makes no sense on some of them.
He's like, he's pretending like he's like Tim Cook inventing something, but for each fandom, he's like, yes, make the mouse digivolve into God's executioner, and he will be like, it's fun.
Well, with Avatar, he said, I remember a few of them. He was like, give Katara hair loopies, and then we will make all children everywhere weep. Leaves from the vine. I forget why I brought it because you said something specifically that triggered it, but I can't exactly remember which one at the moment. But if I throughout the episode, I might throw in a few of those. But I love that guy. It's really funny.
Yeah, no, his stuff's great.
And then your favorite character. We should probably ask that. Favorite Avatar character.
My favorite Avatar character is Uncle Iroh. Love Uncle Iroh. He is just one of the best, one of the best male representations of anything. He's wise, but he has a past that he doesn't condone. He's changed and he's grew. It's funny because I probably have one of the hottest takes about Iroh, but I love that character so much. Like I say all the time, like he was a terrible father, which people are like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, he got his son killed. But I love that character. Yeah, I love that character a lot. He's probably one of the best characters. To me, he's great character, Iroh.
Yeah, I like the point that y'all usually make of like when we see Iroh at the end of his character arc. Like he's already reached the end of his journey, and then he's like, he's the wise old man archetype. That's basically what he's doing throughout the series. But Sean, what about you? What's your bending element and what's your favorite character?
I like that my answer differs so greatly from Chris, and Heather's still in here, so I hope that this is funny to her when she hears me say, Chris, when you used to say you like the feeling of wind, sometimes I get upset when I can feel air touching my face, like from a vent
heck, Sean, that
or
is
from a fan.
It is the best feeling in the world. Oh my God.
It's like a common human experience.
I should note that I probably have some pretty serious sensory issues that have gone undiagnosed. But I don't like windows down in the car and things like that. Anyway, my point is Chris and I are very different people, and I am an earthbender, absolutely. And just to tag onto that, I think my favorite character, it does fluctuate, but right now I'm in a Kyoshi mood. I think she's the coolest avatar and the current favorite character. And yeah, Chris just describing like sitting and not doing anything gave me anxiety. And then he talked about feeling the wind on his face, and I'm gonna throw up.
You were done after that.
Butterfly.
The wind on a nice spring, like that moment that season between winter and spring, where the wind is just nice, it's warming up, but it's not too warm. It's just it's everywhere.
So
what about you?
And you said it was Yang Chen was your favorite, by the way?
Kyoshi for me. Chris,
Kyoshi.
Did you have?
He said his
favorite.
He said
Avatar.
Yeah. Oh, Avatar.
Oh, sorry. No, Iroh. Yeah. Favorite character.
I would say so. Growing up, I have 3 other siblings, and we would always like play. Like we would go down to our creek and next to our house, and we'd pretend to be Avatar characters. And
love going down to the creek.
Right down to the creek.
We had a creek by my house too. Like, hey, we're gonna hang out down in the creek.
Yeah.
It's Midwest. It's a creek.
Yeah. And we would we're each one assigned an element. And so I don't know how much that formulated my personality, and because I don't think I picked, I was just given. And I've always just said this is what I am. But I was given the earthbender. I was always the earthbender. And I did a lot of research for this episode of like looking up the different like personality traits ascribed to each one. And I'm looking at it, and I think, and we'll get to this in when we start covering what the Potter characters, what bending element we would give them. But based on the characteristics I've seen in each one, I think I'm 50% earth, pretty sure on that. And if I wasn't earth, I would be water, based on what the science online tells me. But we'll get to that later. And then my favorite character from Avatar, it's easy. It's got to be Aang. I freaking love that little boy. That I'm going to cut that out. That didn't sound good. I freaking love that character. Oh my goodness. Anyway.
Hey there, Aang. Get your Sorry, that's a Family Guy.
That's all right. Well, listeners, moving on now, we're going to get to our Quizzitch section. And so not only are the Avatar experts, they are Harry Potter
stay
pros.
For this part.
Just Harry Potter
Not because I'm going to cheat, I swear.
But I'm going to ask these guys some Harry Potter questions that cover the whole range of the series. And we're going to see between these two Avatar podcasters, who knows more about Harry Potter? And by these two, I mean like these three, because technically Sean is cheating. But
And
Just
again,
give her a headphone.
just to let everyone know, I love the movies. Sean is a very huge fan of Harry Potter, and I am not. And so take that in consideration with this quiz.
I'm
Yeah.
also historically bad at trivia and attention to detail, so I actually think it's a fair fight here. I won't cheat.
Sure.
I won't take notes from Heather until I've already failed.
Well, I have 6 questions, and I will give the easier ones to Chris. We'll
Totally
get
fair.
rocking.
Totally fair.
All right, Chris, your first question: who is the head of Ravenclaw House?
Who's the- Is this how it feels when people do our trivia panels? And it's like, what is this question? Ravenclaw House.
Which
You mean the
professor?
person-
Which professor is like
the
the
professor.
leader? Yeah.
Oh, the professor. Okay. Oh gosh. I mean, I only know Professor McGonagall and the professor with the glasses and the weird hair who does who has prophecies.
Ooh, that is incorrect.
Yeah,
You're thinking of Professor Trelawney. It was so funny because you were going, and I was like, "He's gonna get it right," and then you said the prop. I was like, "Nope, no, he ain't." All
Was
right.
it the professor who does like the screaming root thingies?
Nope,
No.
not that one.
She's Hufflepuff.
Let's ask let's see if Sean can steal.
It's
Sean, do you want-
Flitwick, right? Charms guy.
It's old Flitwick.
Yeah.
That's
The
correct.
little, little fella, Chris.
Oh,
The one who
okay,
like
the music
completely
director.
changes his appearance after the second
He is the
movie.
music director, isn't he? Yeah, his appearance does change after Warwick Davis passed away, right?
No, Warwick Davis was the one who continued to do him.
Who came? Okay, I got
Yeah.
you. I got you.
All right, your first question, Sean. Who is the ghost for Ravenclaw House?
I should know this. It's Rowena Ravenclaw's daughter.
Yes, but what is her name? What does she go by?
Daughter.
Does your wife know?
Helen or Helena, one of those.
That's
Helena the Grey Lady.
Ravenlaw.
Yeah, that's. I would have also accepted the Gray Lady.
The
That's what
gr-
she's
yeah,
also called.
Okay. I got Helen or Helena. Heather said Gray Lady. Good work,
Yeah.
Heather. But she said it after I gave my answer, just to be clear.
I like how
All
you
right.
gave me the easy
Well,
and I did not know.
hopefully you'll get this one right. Ready, Chris?
Yes.
What is the name of Neville's toad? Neville has a
Ooh.
toad. What is its name?
Dang, you know, I honestly just saw something about this.
He only says that like
Um,
once in the entire movie series.
Yeah, but he's iconic.
It is. I got it now. I got it.
Okay, I was a
Mr.
little worried.
Toad.
Mr. Toad. That's close. That's very close. Sean, what's the answer?
Trevor.
Trevor. That's
Trevor.
correct. All right, Sean.
That's the
you're-
only time he says it, Chris. He just shouts it one time in the first movie. That's it. You
Totally.
never hear about it again.
All
I feel
right.
like this is what would they call it? Not payback. Something not even poetic justice.
Revenge?
Retribution.
Close to something revenge on me for coming up with trivia questions that people hate. But not that I hate these, it's just
Put you
Don't
in your
worry.
place.
Don't worry. You got one more chance after this to
Okay.
get one right. But
Mhm.
Sean, your next question, and I'll give you. I'm looking at this list. I'll give you. Do you want an easy one or a hard one?
Go hard. I'll try.
Go. All right, if you're sure. Hagrid has a hippogriff known as Buckbeak, but later in the books he returns under a pseudonym. What is the new name given to Buckbeak?
I know I should, but I don't. I
Does
don't.
your wife?
I
Does your
can't-
wife know?
Let Chris have a chance to steal first. Heather
He's
can
not-
answer for no
that's
points.
right. Do you know what it is,
let Heather
Chris?
steal.
Heather, go
look,
ahead,
He's being
steal.
a gentleman.
It's like Wither Wings or Weather Wings. Something
That's
like that.
correct.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Is it
Wither
Wither
Wings?
Wing?
It's
Weather
Wither
Wings. I
Wing.
can't remember it all.
Yeah, WITH, Wither.
Wither. Okay, I got you.
All right. And then, Chris, your final question. Let's see. Let's do how many years does
Okay.
Harry attend Hogwarts?
Well, that's interesting because does he even finish the last year?
That is
I
part of
mean,
the
I get.
trivia question.
Oh gosh. And when you say attend Hogwarts,
As a
does being a
student,
professor? Okay, as a student.
he's never a
Uh,
professor.
What about this time he was an
oh,
adjunct professor for a year?
what if he was a janitor? Wouldn't that be crazy? After he
Harry
saves the
comes,
world, he's like,
SNL has like a
here's
skit about that he
When
just
when
stays
you
at
really okay.
Hogwarts forever.
when you
After he
solve
fills his
evil
role.
and the aura market dries up and you gotta take up whatever work you can get.
I'm go 5. That's
The answer
probably
is
wrong.
6.
Dang it,
6.
6.
All right, I'm gonna give you one more, and this is the easiest one on the list. All right, this is the easiest one that I have before we hop over to Sean. What is the name of Hermione's cat?
Oh, jeez, Mrs. It's a very
Super
I don't know,
British. It's ridiculously British.
Mrs. Cat Lady, Katarina.
Katarina. It's Crookshanks. You're very close. You got the first letter almost right.
There we go. I failed. I will see my way out, and
That's all right. All right, Sean, your last question. I have one more here, and I feel like this is too easy for you, but I'm gonna toss it to you anyway. What is the ghost for Slytherin House?
I know him as the Bloody Baron.
That's
I don't know if he has
correct.
a regular name.
No, the only name we're given is the Bloody Baron.
That's
Do you
it.
know
Okay.
the relationship between him and the Grey Lady? Do you know the correlation between them?
I I don't know it, but I'm gonna make something up here. Something about God, is murder suicide too dark for those books?
No, you're actually
Am I close?
pretty daggum close. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
He
hit me with it.
he loved her, couldn't have her, so he murdered her, and that's all the blood on his robes is her blood. That's
And
why
now
he's
they
called the Bloody
live
Baron.
in eternity in the same building, and that's awkward, right? That's got to be
It's
weird for
gotta
them.
be awkward. Like what?
Oh, here's another thing with the pets. So I got to go back to this. I think Crookshanks is another character where we hear that name one time in the movie.
No, they say it a few more times than that. Got
What?
to.
Are you
She
sure?
disappears after the third movie. I feel like it. Like you see her in the fifth movie, running through Sirius's house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think you ever see
Sean,
her
you're not
again
a real
after that.
fan.
I'm wondering.
Caught me.
Sean, your wife might know, but I'm wondering if Crookshanks appears in the scene when in the sixth movie when the trio are sitting around that little paper fire in the burrow. But if she's holding Crookshanks in that scene or something, she might be. I don't know, but
I can't picture it.
yeah, I feel like that's I feel like book 5 might be the last time we see the cat. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's all we got for trivia. And listeners, we're gonna move on to our main bulk of the episode. So what we're gonna do now is I have a list. We all have lists of different Avatar characters, and we're going to sort them into different Hogwarts houses. And so before we get started, just to remind listeners, I have a list of like an explanation for the characteristics of why you would sort somebody into a particular house. And so you don't get much more official than this. On the Harry Potter website, harrypotter.com, here are some of the descriptions it says about each. So for Gryffindor, it says, if the sorting hat placed you here, you have demonstrated qualities like courage, bravery, and determination. If you're lucky enough to end up in Gryffindor, we imagine you're the type of person who likes to stand up for the little guy, challenge authority, and has a tendency to act first and think later. It is known as or you might be known as a class clown and take board games very seriously. So that's Gryffindor. On to Slytherin. It's funny when you look at the Slytherin on the Harry Potter website, it goes, they're not all evil. It's like the intro to them. But eventually it says that if the sorting hat places you in this house, then you're most likely to be ambitious, shrewd, and possibly destined for greatness. We can imagine you're the kind of person who is always one step ahead, has a dark sense of humor, thinks reputation is important, and takes pride in their appearance and doesn't let anyone see their soft side. So that's what they say about Slytherin. Ravenclaw. Sorting Hat would put you in this house if you demonstrated excellent wisdom, wit, and skill for learning. Ravenclaws are often known for being quite eccentric, and most of the great wizards, inventors, and innovators have come from this house. We can imagine, let's see what there's a bit about you're the type of person who analyzes everything, is an overachiever, can be described as away with the fairies, is not afraid to be an individual, and has a head stuffed full of interesting facts. And then finally, we have our Hufflepuffs. Uh, but Hufflepuffs are the most humble of all the houses and don't feel the need to shout about their achievements in the same way as others. If you're lucky enough to be sorted into this house, we can imagine you're the type of person who has a strong moral compass, always works hard, is the most loyal friend, knows it is the taking part that counts, and always has the best snacks. So there you go. Those from the official HarryPotter.com. All right. Now moving on to some of our characters, and we don't know, listeners, who's on whose list, who each person has picked, and so I have a ginormous list here, but I think what we'll do is we'll each go one by one, and then we can, if we have the same one, we can chime in with our thoughts on that too. But I'll kick us off. I'll kick us off here, and then we'll hit up. We'll go with Chris, and then we'll hit Sean, and then we'll just keep going around in that rotation. So my first one, I'm going to start off with to me, what felt like a very easy one, and I picked Bolin from The Legend of Korra, and I said Bolin is a Hufflepuff. He is incredibly kind. He's incredibly loyal, and to me, very humble. And all those attributes fit Hufflepuff House very perfectly. He's a friend to everybody, it seems, and so that's why I would put Bolin in Hufflepuff House.
That's on my list, and I second that motion. That was an easy pick. I even like that he comes from a different past, and he has found his way into an accepting house. That's narratively nice.
Yeah. Chris, do you agree with our take?
Yeah, I mean, out of the ones, out of all the houses, he seems like he belongs to Hufflepuff.
All right, now Chris, hit us with your next one.
All right, I'm gonna go with one of probably my favorite Avatar, which is Sean. Who do you think that is, or Barry?
Got to be Korra.
Barry. It's Korra.
Got to be Korra.
Because
listeners, he's a big Korra stan.
Apparently, I'm biased.
That's what I hear. I don't know. I can't validate that.
If the legends can be believed.
Can't wait for next week when we tear her apart in an assassination episode.
I'm going to put Korra. I was going in between Gryffindor and Slytherin. I feel like either one could go. It's interesting. That's kind of how Harry Potter is.
Indeed.
But because it's fun, I'm put her in Slytherin.
Really?
Yeah, she's it's interesting because I'm kind of thinking more so of early Korra. She is ambitious. She's not that cunning. But she's very determined, and yeah.
I had her in Gryffindor, and it was funny when my wife and I made this list together because she knows even more about Avatar than me. Like she freaking loves this show, and we were both like, it was the first one we picked. We were like, this is the easiest pick. She's got to be a Gryffindor. So it's interesting that you said Slytherin.
Gryffindor very much fits, and there might be a little part of me that's trying to go a little bit against the edge, against the grain. But
let's make her racist.
Gryffindor definitely. let's not go against that grain.
No, I think like on the Harry Potter thing when it says acts first and think later, I was like, that's our Korra. And just brave.
That is true.
I don't know a character more brave than her in the show.
That's a very good point. You might be turning me to Gryffindor. But yeah, good point.
I went Gryffindor as well, and the determination, the bravery, and just the idea of like her standing up for wrong, just even without a plan. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You see a wrong, you stand up to it in the moment, right? That's pure Gryffindor right there.
Yeah. All right, now Sean, who do you got?
So one of my favorite characters as an earthbending type myself is Toph. but I had trouble placing her, so I'm gonna bring her up just because fun topic. I
Mhm.
landed on Slytherin. I think there's like a cunning pragmatism about Toph and a potential for greatness / potential evil in there that I think lends itself well to Slytherin. But I struggled. Like, she's one of my favorite characters, so I had a lot of fun thinking about it. Struggle in a fun way. I don't know how to word that better. I enjoyed thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I had the exact same one for her. I had her in Slytherin as well, and I'm looking at another list um, of the characteristics. And, here it has they're determined, they are cunning, they are talented, they're ambitious, they have incredible power. And I hear all that, and I'm like, that's tough. Oh, there's another one from that guy that we're talking about on Instagram. He goes, "Make the little blind girl a god."
I was thinking it'd be weird
Um,
to compare her to the basilisk.
oh yeah,
It's kind of
yeah.
harsh, but yeah.
Well, the listeners, if you didn't hear that, Sean's wife said she's like, you can compare her to the basilisk because at one point the basilisk, gets its eyes knocked out, but it's still very threatening.
And Toph sees you with her other senses. It's perfect.
Yeah, I like that take too. I think exactly like I just see her shouting all the like, "I am the greatest earthbender of all," and I'm like, that seems very Slytherin.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Okay, my next one, I would have. Okay, let me think of one. Okay, this was interesting. So my wife came up with this take. I'm not this smart because I was thinking that Aang is a Gryffindor, and she goes, "I disagree. I think Aang is a Hufflepuff who has to be a Gryffindor. Like the world needs him to be a Gryffindor, and that's the character he has to put forth. He has to be. But his whole arc in the show is he's not the bravest. He's running away from his greatest challenge. Um, so, but he he loves people. He's incredibly friendly. He just wants to have a good time. Uh, so he is a Hufflepuff by nature, but he is having to be a Gryffindor, which would make him Neville Longbottom because Neville desperately wanted to be in Hufflepuff house, and the hat told him, "No, you're going to Gryffindor."
I think that maybe even Aang. Man, there's a couple. I like what you said better. In my head, I was thinking Aang, the hat would put him in Gryffindor. Like, hey, this is where you need to be, and he'd be like, I want to be a Hufflepuff. Better, and the hat's like, no, listen. But no, I like the explanation better. I listed him in
No, you're the
Hufflepuff.
main character. We need you in Gryffindor.
Let me go on the record right now and say that the elements. Listen, they got better over time, but the way that the houses are presented in like the first 2 or 3 Harry Potter books, there's some imbalance in there. Whereas the elements, I always felt there was nice balance. Chris mentioned that he's an airbender and he called it like the potential to seem boring, but like, no, all the elements have a really good balance to them.
Yeah.
And eventually, as the universe expanded, the houses do too. I promise. I promise.
Yeah. All right, Chris, who's your next one?
All right. Next one up is dang it, I have my list. Where'd it go? Speaking of Aang, I'm gonna go with Katara here. And maybe this I was already thinking this before you said Aang Hufflepuff, because like you, my mind went Aang Gryffindor just because that just feels right. But I think you're absolutely right, Hufflepuff. I had already had Katara in Hufflepuff because she definitely gives off a sense of like protection, everyone getting along. She is the glue of the group. Like she is, people like to talk down on her saying she's a motherly figure, but that to me isn't a character fault. Like to be the mother figure of something means like you're protective and you want everyone to get along, you want peace and stuff like that. And I feel like that goes along more so with Hufflepuff.
I can see it. The and again, for most of these, I'm not even stating this is mostly my wife. She made a lot of this one, but she was a believer that she was like, essentially, Katara is just the like Hermione of this world, but she did put her in Ravenclaw. She put Katara in Ravenclaw because she thought just of she viewed her as incredibly smart, clever. and creative. Well, Sokka's more creative, but still somewhat of a snob, somewhat. But
I see. I did Gryffindor because I sensed her as like nobody more willing to stand up for the little guy.
oh, that's a
You
good
know, in a
point.
moment, like she's driven by
Hmm.
that determination to like fight back in the moment or to do the right hard thing at any given moment. That's
Hmm.
crazy. We all went different directions, but
Yeah, I like that. All
I
right,
think that's
Sean.
a I think
Oh,
that's the essence of a really good
I did
yeah.
too. She's got a lot of development.
Mhm. All
character.
right, Sean. Who's your next one?
Sure. Well, let's talk about Sokka since we just did Katara.
Heck
And
yeah.
this is I did put Sokka in Hufflepuff, but just
That's obvious. I
more
feel
more
like
to
it.
like the stereotype, like just the misfit of like, is this guy a
Mhm.
squib? Do we put him in
He
Hufflepuff
would be a squib. Oh my gosh,
where
he
they
would be a
would
squib of
tease
all of
him
them.
the least? Do we put him in there? So I put Sokka in Hufflepuff just because that felt narratively at home,
Mhm.
if not charismatically.
Yeah, I 100% agree. All right, I have a somewhat of an interesting one. The my and again, not me, my wife, Kuvira in Gryffindor. Kuvira from Legend of Korra, and
Mm.
I was like, really? You don't think Slytherin because of like how opportunistic she was,
Mm.
and she
Honestly, the
goes,
green is
yeah, man.
It's
But
the
she
fit.
goes,
Yeah, it's the fit.
I think she's a Gryffindor because she genuinely thinks that she is good. She's not deceptive, and she's incredibly brave to like be following her moral compass in that way.
I am biased to think of sometimes, not always, and I've already disproven myself earlier. But in my mind, a lot of earthbenders, really pragmatic ones, are Ravenclaws. Like it's about the fundamental,
Mhm.
the knowledge, the pragmatism, or whatever. And like nobody is more pragmatic and efficient and effective in their takedown of an entire country than Kuvir. So I threw her
Good point.
in
Good point.
Ravenclaw for
that
the
is true.
like,
Yeah.
this is
Very
how I'm going to cut you
systematic
down.
breakdown.
Yeah. So I had Ravenclaw or Slytherin just for that kind of same determination drive. But I like the sharpness of her strikes. They're so precise and so well crafted.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess if I'm trying to think of my wife's train of thought, it might have been something along the lines of like she doesn't view Kuvira as opportunistic, but just as blunt. Like she's not trying to deceive or be clever. It's just blunt, straightforward. This is what I'm going to do. Taking the ball, running it up the middle. This is what
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah.
That's very Gryffindor or Slytherin like there might
Mhm.
be some overlap in that type of behavior.
Yeah. All right, Chris, who you got?
So wanted to go with an avatar. I can always go with both of them. Yang Chen.
Mm-hmm.
Yang Chen is a very interesting character. She is my favorite avatar is Korra.
And
My
listeners, check
favorite,
out the book about Yang Chen if you haven't read it. Very good.
yeah. My favorite personality of an avatar is Yang Chen. Like Yang Chen is to me her personality is so interesting. Like right, the misconception of her is like she's this very like peaceful, almost deity type of character. But really, she's like, I won't say conniving, but she is manipulative to a certain extent. Where
Mm-hmm.
she's like, all right, I got to play like Game of Thrones here. I got to play this person here and stuff. And she uses more of her mind really than her actual abilities. And so I put her in Ravenclaw.
I could see it based on everything you just said. And I most of my opinion on Yang Chen is coded by your review of her book. So I don't have an argument against it.
I didn't have her on my list at all. Chris, I like your reasoning. I could also see like a similar reasoning for like a Slytherin, like less of the cunning, more of the political games.
Mhm.
You could convince me
True.
that
Yeah.
Slytherin.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think one of those two, right? But I didn't have her on my list, so that's a knee-jerk reaction.
And who else do you have on your list though, Sean?
Um, I've got so I went maybe too big, but there's two more that I care about touching on the list for sure. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, three more. Zuko, Kyoshi, Iroh. Those are the
Oh yeah,
three
we
that I
haven't
feel
talked
like
about
we
Zuko.
gotta touch.
Okay, I have Zuko on
Kyoshi
mine
just
too, so
selfishly.
go ahead.
Uh,
Yeah.
I put Kyoshi in Slytherin because there is that like greatness and power potential there. but mostly it's just because of that end of life Kyoshi. Like, and I forget the quote, so I hope Chris will rescue me here. But that live long enough to see yourself become the villain from Batman that we've equated to Kyoshi over time.
Yeah.
That I think full picture Kyoshi, it kind of fits with the power and the eventual questionable downfall.
She's somebody I feel like I 100% agree in that she's somebody who will do what needs to be done.
And
Like,
she's not very crafty, right? So she kind of goes against my great earthbenders or Ravenclaws. I don't get that sense of tact from her. It's more of a brute force vibe.
no, I can see it.
So I had Kyoshi. I was thinking of Kyoshi, and it was hard to place her because, like, I think about the end of her life Kyoshi, or even the going up against Chin the Conqueror Kyoshi, and then you also think about young Kyoshi. And when I was reading descriptions of Hufflepuff, and one of it is a strong sense of justice, and like the term justice is like Kyoshi's greatest quote is "Only justice will bring peace." Like that quote is etched into Kyoshi's kind of her. It's iconic for Kyoshi. But I see where you come up with Slytherin.
She's lived like 3 lives. She could be a few different houses.
All right, and then another one I had on my list, King Boomy, and I placed King Boomy in Slytherin because that man is so
funny.
He's so incredibly crafty. He takes advantage of the systems that he's placed in. You know, he's always like finding a way to use whatever is there to his advantage. He might be one of like the most crafty characters in the whole show. He also seems to me incredibly proud, not just of himself, but of his kingdom, of the fact that he believes especially, I think we see in that one comic, he thinks he's the strongest earthbender. I find him to be a Slytherin. So
I don't have him on my list, but you sold me. My knee-jerk reaction just when you said the name was he's a Hufflepuff, but like one of those underappreciated Hufflepuffs. Like you don't realize how good he is, but I like your description way better. I'm sold.
Yeah, I picture him walking up to Aang and being like, "Hey, these things, they use them for like transportation and like for mail and other stuff, but we could ride these." Like it's just very clever, you know? But that's my take on King Boomy. Chris, who's your next one?
I think it was all of them I had, but I'll come up.
That's okay.
What big character?
Iroh and Zuko, Chris, are the 2 biggest I left, in my opinion.
I mean, to me, Iroh, I would have just initially thinking seems like Hufflepuff.
Really?
And maybe I am, because I'm the least Harry Potter of the bunch. Maybe I'm this. He just seems from the descriptions of Hufflepuff of patience, fairness is what I had looked up, and dedication. Like wisdom. That is a huge thing.
He is the wisest character in the show.
Okay, but hear me out though.
Without
you guys y'all are talking about in-game Iroh, but you don't start
in-game
school. You don't start school and get sorted into your in-game house. You start school as a younger, less developed character. You know, we have unfulfilled Iroh, and to me, that is probably a Slytherin or a Gryffindor.
If you're talking young Iroh, it's Slytherin or Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
either
thinking
the bravery
old
or the drive, but that's when you get sorted, right? You get sorted as a youthful.
Yeah, but then then that changes everything about each character.
It does. No. Well, but just the idea it was kind of a fun narrative thought process of like, well, yeah, he's part of the evil Fire Nation, but then he turns out like he becomes
that is interesting. Iroh can probably throughout his life go through all the houses.
And as you said, mark of a great character, and he's definitely like I said, Aang's my favorite, but I think Iroh is the best character in the show. At least many people believe. Sean, who's your next one? And we'll do 2 more.
Yeah, I got Zuko's the last one left on my list. And that was another one where it's fun to picture, like, well, how would he have been sorted, and then how would that have contributed
Hmm.
to a great story? I mean, I think he had to put him in Slytherin because 80% of his character in Avatar: The Last Airbender is, I need to regain my honor. I must capture the Avatar. It's like that's pure Slytherin.
Yeah.
Even though that creates, the good narrative things and growth down the road.
I was like, some of the traits that I'm reading from Slytherin of resourcefulness. Zuko is resourceful as heck. Like he is very resourceful. Self-preservation, like to become the blue spirit and
Yeah.
and free Aang, and then determined. No one is as determined, I think, as Zuko. No matter how much he falls, even when he's doing the bad thing, he's determined.
Yeah. I think just to you've sold me. I'm more convinced of that one. On my list, I had him in Hufflepuff, thinking about season 3 Zuko, of just once like everything, because I feel like that's who he really is. Seasons 1 and 2 Zuko is the unaffirmed
True.
boy, but who he really is like
Yeah. I mean,
Zuko here.
if you
Is
took
so
like
kind.
12-year-old, I mean, if you took 12-year-old Zuko, he's probably not a Slytherin. He's definitely not a Slytherin. Like right before his mom was banished. And how old are they when they go get sorted?
11.
Yeah,
Okay.
They're 11 when they get sorted.
but Chris, never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
That's right. That's right. That's right. What Dumbledore says, or no, it's actually Gandalf. In one moment, he says, "Every story deserves a good bit of embellishment."
Yes. See, I feel like he started off as a Gryffindor, like that's his true person, and he's kind of forced into the Slytherin. Like it's almost the
Mhm.
opposite of Neville.
Yeah. His father almost beat it into him of being a Slytherin.
That was the guy on the meme guy. He goes, "And when he disobeys his father, we will incinerate his face."
Oh, that's not come across though, Sean. I have to send it to you. I have no idea what his name is or anything.
I have it
but
saved. I'll send
No,
it
you'll
to
have to
you.
send it my way.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not familiar to me, but I'm down with the form of comedy.
All right. So just to finish it up, let's see. I have I'm gonna throw out 2 because one is a question and one is to tick off Sean. So I'll do the second one first. I believe that Jet is a Gryffindor because I view him as very
Ooh,
brave.
I'm glad you brought that up, man.
I view him as very brave. I mean, my guy went up against the Dai Li. All right. I think, and he led his squad like a true commander.
Jet is
Yeah.
Cormac McLagan. He's that Gryffindor.
He's that Gryffindor. I'll
Every
accept
house
it.
has its a-holes. Like
And then last one, I wanted to pose a question. Where would you put the Cabbage Man?
You know what? Couch Man gets too much shine. I want to know where we put Foamy Mouth Guy.
No, let's take both of these and run with them. I'm gonna say Cabbage Man is a driven businessman, and that fits best in Slytherin.
That's what I thought.
Foamy Mouth Guy seems like a Hufflepuff to me. He seems
He's the
like
life of
he's
the party.
somebody's sidekick.
I view him as just showing up. Look at my party trick, everybody, and making.
That was a backhanded compliment there.
It was absolute. But and for the record, Bear, I agree with your evaluation of Jet as a character, though I think Gryffindor is a legit fit. But
yes,
Sean, one of the next rewatches we do will have to be Jet, and I'll have to convince you of how great of a character Jet is.
You can't. I've seen the show enough to know what that guy is. He's better. He's better at the end before he dies. Not after he dies, before he dies.
And just to throw these in because this is representing my wife. She really wanted me to say these. She says Janora should be in Hufflepuff.
Okay, absolutely.
She says she had Mako as a Gryffindor.
Okay, yeah.
And she had she was like almost all of the White Lotus should go in Ravenclaw. Zhang Piandao.
That feels good. Or like Hufflepuff, just like deeper state of being folk, Yeah.
Suki is a Gryffindor. And the last one, Ty Lee is a Hufflepuff.
Hear me out on Suki.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Ravenclaw just because of her attention to the tact, like her the technical detail of her every tact. It's like a Hermione, but for violence.
For and Hermione was almost put in Ravenclaw, so
Yeah.
you can see it there.
I could see the arguments at least.
Yeah. All right then. Well, listeners, that is all of our stuff that we have for sorting different Avatar characters into Harry Potter houses. I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't watched Avatar, none of that made any sense to you. So let's keep it moving. Moving on now to our Harry Potter sorting of what bending elements they would be in. So here's the thing. Like I said, I was never like too aware of the personality traits that different benders would go into. And so I did a lot of research today, and I want to run this by both of you to see if you agree with like my research is fruits born from my research. So when I look at water, most of the things that are said for water: adaptable, balanced, versatile, graceful, and cool-headed, able to change.
To me, water is kind of the not hands-on genius, but they're like the hands-on handy person. Like they're the guy across the street that can fix anything for $50. They are they there's tact and skill and knowledge in a good balance in water to me.
Another one.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
I would say I think the stuff you hit on of able to change and flexible, like that to me, that's water. Water is both offensive and defensive, right? Like water in the nature of itself, the ice, throw it. It is a very versatile bending element.
Yeah, the one that I saw from like the Avatar, like it was avatarfandom.com or something, mentioned on their fighting style that they can easily turn their defense to offense. And that might not sound significant, but I did use it in some of my sortings. All right, then for air, they are conflict avoidant, they are creative, pacifists, very spiritual and reflective, respectful to tradition, virtuous and free. That was the air, what I found for that. Do you gentlemen agree with that take on air?
Yes.
Yeah, carefree. Yeah.
The most negative trait I saw from them was they seek the easy way out. Again, not all of these things have to apply to each one, but
Exceptions
just
to every rule.
yeah. All right, then with fire, they are powerful, very willful and passionate, aggressive, some might say, disagreeable, but also proactive, and their power comes from within. So,
I think to add to that, I don't think any of those are wrong.
mhm.
I do think firebenders can be passionate, have a great drive and determination, um, and a pretty strong will.
I'd say the word honor comes up with fire more than anything else, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, then moving on to Earth, they are pragmatic, grounded, very patient, and but also individualistic, which is I feel like that one can't be true now based on what you said about airbenders. But
Even patient, that threw me off. I wouldn't expect that.
yeah, this is from the fandom.com, man. I'm gonna pull it. But if we don't like it, we can exit out.
We can go edit the fandom, right?
That's right. Stubborn, industrious,
Absolutely. Yes.
confrontational, blunt.
Yeah.
And then
Those fit better.
the one that I was curious on was opportunistic. Do you think that applies to them?
Yeah, I can see that.
As much as it applies to any other?
Yeah, I think so.
All right then.
This
Well,
is the only one that there's a couple in a row there that jumped out at me. The patient doesn't feel
patient
right.
and
That's
individualistic.
individualistic, maybe patient. I don't see that one. Not
All
at least
right.
as a common.
Well,
guy.
you know what, Sean? I'm getting rid of it. It's not on my character descriptions anymore. Forget that.
Yeah.
All right.
Bolin is the most patient earthbender I can think of.
But Bolin to me isn't a traditional earthbender.
He is
Like his
not. He
personality
defies.
is which almost I think that's what lends him to be able to be a lava bender. Is that he's not as stubborn, he's more fluid than probably most earthbenders are.
You know,
There's waterbender in his soul.
Boomy's pretty patient, I feel. You know, like, I'm
Boomy,
just gonna sit in this coffin forever.
Neutrogene.
okay.
That is
If
interesting,
you're,
Sean. Patience,
that's a different type of
might.
patience, though, right? That's like that to me. What you're describing is opportunistic, like the attacking at the perfectly right moment. To me, that's not patience. That's
But would not a
opportunism.
branch of opportunistic be patient? Like a quality you would have to be opportunistic is patient.
Yeah. No. I'll give you that. That's fine.
I'm putting it back on the list. All right. Now, without further ado, let's hop into it. So we're going to go in reverse order of what we did before. So Sean, you kick us off.
Sure. Well, I'm going to take, I'm going to start off with a spicy one. I'm going to say that Harry's a firebender.
Heck yeah. Agreed.
I had him as water.
agree.
I've been
I
thinking
agree
about
also.
what we just discussed, and I think, nope, Harry's fire.
Yep. Harry's biggest issue throughout the series, is, he loses his temper a good bit. Not in like he gets angry at and wants to fight a person, but like he's angry for somebody, or he gets offended about something.
Also, he shoots red stuff, magic red.
That's right.
Fire.
Magic red. I would say, he's incredibly proactive person. I'm looking at this list again, very passionate, and he's probably the most passionate. So
he is always ready to jump on a train of the solution immediately, whether it is intelligent or vetted by Hermione or not.
Yeah, I completely agree. Harry is a firebender. All right,
yep,
Chris.
I 100% agree with that. I was thinking the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have. Oh man, Hermione is an interesting one. I feel like it's between water and earth because there's certain
literally what I have written. Yeah,
I have her in air.
That's fun. Like I think she would use water in a very water bending has so many applications to it. It's like ice, water, steam. Very advanced ones can blood bend. Very, very advanced ones like Amon can get in and change the way. Hermione will understand how cheese flow and be able to I think she would be she's blood bending the crap out of Lucius when he calls her a mudblood. I can just imagine that. Imagine just the Harry Potter characters in Avatar, and then he says that to her, and he's just like. And Hermione's like, what the f did you say?
I even had the order that you said. I have literally written water or earth. I was leaning. She was going to be a specialty bender. She was either going to be the greatest metal bender of all time from just understanding the literal chemistry therein, or the greatest water bender of all time for the reason you described. I don't even care which. I just know it's one of those two awesome things.
Now, again, I had her down as air. And so I will defer to the experts, but this is the argument for air. She is a pacifist, and she's also very respectful towards tradition. And probably the most reflective, I feel. Harry might be the most reflective, but she's conflict avoidant, and a pacifist, and the most virtuous of any of the trio. And so I think that's why I had her in air. She seems like she's very respectful. She's very honorable. So that, not the honorable part, but with the other ones, especially tradition and virtue, that's why I put her in air.
I would counter with that. She doesn't strike me as pacifist. She does pick her battles. And she would probably always try to de-escalate or prevent when possible. But we see her slinging spells when she's got to.
It is very hard to separate Katara and Hermione. They're very much characters of they are the nicest person if you're friends with them. You want them on your side, and if you piss them off, they will not hesitate.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I defer to the experts. So she has to be a waterbender.
Yeah, she started spew and I don't know. We've seen her sling some stuff. So yeah, I'm down for water, I think.
Fair enough. All right. And then I had, let me go with, I'll do a prominent character. I had Hagrid as an earthbender. Hagrid's definitely Earth. He's stubborn. He is blunt when he's speaking to people. And he's the most consistent figure, I feel, unchanging of all of them. And so to me, he's a clear-cut earthbender.
And there is a brute forceness about him that fits nicely.
So I was just thinking about Hagrid. I was like, oh, that's what I'll bring up is Hagrid. And like my gut reaction was to go to Earth. Big guy, you think he carries so much Earth, but I almost love the contradiction or the justification of him being an air nomad.
Heck yeah!
Like,
let's go.
Because the stuff I love about Hagrid seems almost innocent sometimes to me. Like he's like he loves animals and stuff. He has a great deal with nature, which I feel like is very air nomad of him.
He
and to
lives
me,
alone. He's a little naive.
Yeah,
those are airish.
Yeah,
but
I completely understand where you guys are coming from, but for some reason, I just wanted to put him. Maybe I just love the thought of big guy being light on his feet.
But what a space for him to be, though, right? Like to be an air nomad.
I call this an air scooter.
Yeah. Yeah, the bending doesn't fit, but the rationale does. And I just think of Hagrid, like I said, living alone in his hut, loving animals to a detriment, right? Like loving others to a detriment, not taking advantage of his natural gifts unless he absolutely has to.
Yeah, I don't. So I also would love. I think the bending I would want him to have the most is air, because I like that picture of big old Hagrid on an air scooter or riding his freaking sky bison.
Oh
but
my God.
he is
that poor bison.
I don't think he is at all conflict avoidant or a pacifist. He doesn't strike me as reflective either. So
he is not terribly reflective.
When I look at these,
he
I'm
does
like,
not learn
he doesn't
from
fit.
his actions.
He doesn't. But
narratively, in a book, he would probably get written into the world of Earth, I think. But that's part of what would make the interest of his characters, those things that are staunchly not Earth.
But like I said, this is my podcast, so he's going in air.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
All right, Sean, what's yours?
Let's do Dumbledore, and I think Chris and I have talked specifically about Dumbledore before, and I think we had different answers, but I put Dumbledore in water. I think there's just a ready for literally whatever to be able to handle it in any specific way, not with any particular amount of like honor or bravery or openness to people, but like, no, just that hands-on, good in any kind of pinch guy. That's Dumbledore. He's a great waterbender.
Chris, did you have him?
I wish I could. We have talked about this before. I wish I could remember what I put it.
I think you did fire, Chris, if I'm not mistaken.
I probably did do fire.
Does that feel right? Like a gut reaction to you?
I mean, either fire or air.
Heather said air.
I got him in air.
This mature Dumbledore that we see is probably most reminiscent of an airbender.
Yeah, very spiritual, reflective, and virtuous, but also free. Like, you can't pin down that man.
You can't. He cannot be tamed.
He's like 10 steps ahead of everybody else.
Always. But that's not particularly airbendery, that part.
But thing about airbending, though, is that it's not like direct. Like there is, like they solve problems in untraditional.
It's very creative. It's very creative.
Yeah, and like for him to be like, all right, here's my plan. Snape, you're gonna kill me. then you will be the possessor of the wand. Eventually, Draco will. I know he didn't think of, but he had a plan of being like, I'm gonna be killed. Snape, I need you to kill me. You gotta be the one. Like that is a crazy plan.
Yeah, I can see Air, and I think what I like best about Air for Dumbledore is all this power, all this unique power, but it tends to manifest itself in pretty unusual or unexpected ways.
And I think to me, Dumbledore, the closest character he feels like to me might be Tenzin. And
I like that.
Yeah, there's just something about they both have. I mean, Tenzin's beard isn't that long, but there's just maybe it's the J.K. Simmons. His voices. Man, he could play a great Dumbledore. Oh
He
my
could
gosh.
just age him up a little bit.
Yeah. Who do they get to play play Dumbledore in the new
Lord
series?
Farquaad.
Oh, right, John Lithgow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also good. He's a great actor. Oh my gosh, he's a great actor. Anyway, yeah.
Was that was yours, Chris? Dumbledore?
Yeah, I got him at
Okay.
I think. More I think about it.
And then I would do. All right, I have Dobby the house elf as a waterbender because I find him very adaptable, very versatile. He's popping in and out. He's there when you need him. And I like him in water. I don't know.
Dobby's fire.
Dobby
fiercely loyal to those most connected to him, to like the most extreme uses of his power to make whatever. But he's like Rangi Firebender from the Kyoshi novels, not like evil Firebender. But the idea of Dobby having to adhere so strictly to a set of rules that like are not arbitrary, but just like his restrictions and things just makes me think of like being a firebender stuck in very formal dress garb and being forced to wear a top knot or whatever. But like, no, underneath there's a very violent little being.
Yeah. All right, Sean, what's your next one?
I'm gonna go with an easy one, and just because we've already referenced, but I put Neville as an airbender. But there again with that caveat of if in a story narratively, if he ended up somewhere else as like a fish out of water, I would get it. But his spirit in his heart, that's an airbender to me.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see any other.
You think he's Earth?
To me, I'm looking at a lot of them, and I don't see him fitting almost any of them.
So he's kind of a fish out of water anyway, which is his thing. But Heather, what's the Earth? What's that giving you?
He's an herbologist. Like,
that's a good point.
Life is in the dirt.
I know, but Earth benders aren't more prone to like liking trees or anything like that in particular.
No, I like it.
Are they?
I don't think of it because trees and plants take up all the elements. They need them all. They need earth, they need water.
That's why they're so perfect balance, and light and I can also see like airbenders being the most they're vegetarians. He's an herbologist. He's halfway there. Yeah.
He works with them. That's fine.
Yeah, so give me Neville for air. I think I'm pretty staunch on that unless there's strong opposition.
I got too many to argue over Neville.
Let's argue about somebody that matters.
Yeah. All right, Chris, who do you got?
Professor Snape is a waterbender. Like
I like it.
There was thing about waterbenders is that they're probably
be a firebender.
Yes, exactly. Like waterbenders are probably the second most villainous people, group of people. Right, you got Amon, you got Unala, you got Tarlok. Also, for some reason, I feel like Snape. I don't know if there's this person in I forgot his name. What's in the Kyoshi novels? Maybe his name was Anouk. Not Anouk, but he was a waterbender and he was training Yoon to like come over poisons, and like it was a very waterbender thing of like waterbenders knowing how to like make, or how to build up resistance to certain things, and that just seemed like something Snape would do. And also just I feel like water water is a creepy element. Like, there are some benders like Ming Hua who does the creepiest stuff. There's a bender, Hama, in my own fan fiction. I'm thinking of a bender who, and for some reason, why am I quoting my own fan fiction that
Nah, it's
currently lives in
canon.
my
It's
head
canon.
and on a
Number
and
one
that's on
Avatar
a
podcast. This is
hasn't
canon.
even been written, but it's on an Excel spreadsheet right now. But yeah, that character does creepy things as well. It's like waterbenders are very villainous, but they're also can be very good.
And well, if we consider too the leading characteristic being adaptable and him being a double agent,
Yeah.
I think that one fits quite well. Quite well. All right, and then I'm going to go Sirius Black. He's a firebender. He's a firebender for sure. He's incredibly passionate, aggressive, disagreeable. He's very driven by honor. I like him for firebender. He doesn't. You're not getting in his way. He's taking you down.
He's kind of the reverse Snape of he's a firebender that's there because his family's all firebender, but he would probably prefer to be somewhere else.
he's
But the
Yeah,
qualities.
when I was looking at Sirius Black, I immediately went to firebender. It was I couldn't in my brain put anything else to it except for firebender.
Yeah, it's like there's people who are conflict avoidant and then others who seek it out. Like, and I think that perfect fit for me. But Sean, what's your next one?
I'm gonna go with let's stay with the four friends here and let's go to James.
Ooh.
And I think for James, if we can pair these together and maybe the next one will be related, I'm gonna go James Earth. Because I sense like a lot of natural skill and talent, maybe not used in the most thoughtful ways. So Earth seemed like an okay fit, but we also don't have a ton. This is like a lesser developed character, right? Like we only have like hindsight of James.
I'm thinking of like he was a jerk in high school. Like he was the
I was going to ask about that. Like, was he legitimately I know he was a jerk to Snape, but like, was he a terrible human being?
No, I don't think so. Like there's a moment in when he's talking to Harry is talking to Lupin and Sirius about, hey, I just found out my dad was kind of a butthole. Like he was such a jerk. And Sirius goes, we were in high school. We were all idiots in high school. But what we actually see from James is, as he matures and actually becomes because I don't think we are who we were in high school, but as he grows up, he's the guy who convinces.
I'm that 15-year-old boy.
But he's the guy who convinces Lily to marry him. He's the guy who dies for his family. The one who fights on the side of justice against Voldemort. I see him as a ignorant jock in high school, but as a noble dude when he's an adult.
He got the girl too, huh?
Heck yeah!
If you tell the story from Snape's perspective, it's like, oh, that's not how the story usually goes. Usually, the jock doesn't get the girl.
Snape's like Chris Rock of, I understand. I wouldn't have killed him, but I understand.
But I get it.
I like how in that flashback of Snape finding Lily's body, it feels like he doesn't care about. Like he just walks.
Dude,
he doesn't walk up.
Baby Harry's just bawling there.
That's
just crying. He's like, "Oh, there's a baby just lost his mom. They're crying. I don't care, Lily."
That is one of the scenes that I prefer to take the book version, so my theater of the mind can be a little less strange.
Oh, what happened in the book version?
I mean, you just
Snape
don't get the description
night.
of ignoring a crying baby and another dead person so you can hug one specific dead person. Your brain doesn't go to that place with it,
Yeah, I think it's a powerful scene because you get so caught up in the music and the emotion.
It is a great scene.
But when you think about it, Yeah, no, like in the book, Snape doesn't show up at all that night. It's just Hagrid
Oh.
shows up, and then Sirius shows up, and Hagrid's like, "Hey, Sirius, kick rocks. I'm taking this baby." Because Sirius was like, "I'll take him," but Hagrid's like, "Nah, Dumbledore told me to get him." And then he rolls
Okay,
out of
that's
there.
interesting. Wow, I didn't know all that.
Yeah, because
So,
Sirius knew he
I mean,
was
Sirius
Harry's
is his
godfather.
godfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Give it to me," and Hagrid's like, "Sorry, orders from Dumbledore, can't do it." And then, but
Huh.
then, and
It
then, to his
is.
credit, Sirius was like, "You know what? Fair enough. Take my bike. It'll get you to Dumbledore quicker."
Thank
Huh.
goodness Sirius
I mean, to
rode
me
the
though, if I was
hugest
serious,
motorcycle of all time.
no, his parents made me the godfather. Like, why was there a did Dumbledore explain like, hey, Voldemort is gonna come after this kid. Like, I have to take him. We have to go hide him somewhere and with other people and
Yeah.
stuff.
What I assume happened is that like nobody had any answers in that moment. And
Yeah.
so it's like if Dumbledore says something, he's the wisest, we'll trust him in this moment.
Yeah,
And
that's
Sirius
true.
probably thought, okay, Dumbledore will keep him safe. I'm going to get him later, though. All right. I trust Dumbledore because who knows? Voldemort could still be around. Some Death Eaters might come out. I don't know. But as soon as I can, I'm taking this kid. That's my thought on that.
But if he knew that he was gonna live a crappy life and living underneath the stairs, I know you don't watch Naruto, or maybe
Oh,
you do watch Naruto.
Naruto formed my personality growing up.
Oh,
Naruto is
great.
my favorite
But
fictional character of all time.
ooh, okay. Let's just leave Sean. But it's like it's like the fourth Hokage being like, "Hey, third, here's my son.
Yeah.
Can you treat him well?" And the third Hokage is like, "I'll put him in an apartment and have him eat
Yeah.
week old milk and cereal
I don't.
and live like a crappy life."
Yeah, they barely explain it in the movie, but the reason, like, there is a reason that he's there, and it's for the protect. Like every year that Harry can, like, it's funny how they treat it. It's almost like re-upping, but when he can be with uh people who are of Lily's bloodline, so Petunia, if he can call that place home, then while he's there, um, then he's protected. Voldemort can't attack the household. So it's like the reason you're
Okay.
here is so Voldemort can never come after you while you're in this household.
Oh,
Whose turn was it? Was it my turn? I feel.
I think I did James, so whoever's after me.
crap, man, that was a while ago. I can
Just a
go.
minute.
So there's the last one that I can think of that's probably so simple and easy is Lord Voldemort. I put him in fire.
Okay.
Like, he can use lightning, everything. I think of Voldemort probably because of just the way he looks, like Palpatine, using lightning, very dry for power. It's just like if you're gonna have a villain that is just pure evil villain with probably little real motivation, he's gonna be in fire. Like just
It's
that
power
drive
for
and
power's
passion.
sake, right? That's the
Yeah.
only like good fit.
The only, and I agree, fire. But I'll say just for
Air.
discussion, what we did discuss, my wife and I, when talking about it, was the potential for water, in that, like, because of all his Horcruxes being able to survive and move on, and like I would call that versatile, not being able to be taken out so easily, no matter what you throw at him. And yeah, I would say there's a little bit of water in there, but I still agree fire is
That's the part of Harry that lives in him. That's the water part.
fair enough. Fair enough. All right, and then two interesting ones. I'm going to add these two together: the twins, Fred and George Weasley. But I have them as separate ones. I have Fred in
That's
fire,
interesting.
and I have George in air. So let me explain. In the movies, you can't really tell, but in the books,
I was
there
gonna
is.
say I don't know the difference between the two. They seem like the exact same
Chris
character.
knows them as the earless one and the dead one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what Chris's frame of reference is.
In the books, there is a clear difference. I mean, if you look for it, as far as what each person says, and if you kind of track it along, Fred is more of the aggressive one, and some of the lines Fred said, he's the one to insult quicker. He's the one to go after people quicker, uh, and be a little more mean. However, George is the more comforting one. When somebody needs a kind word, it's usually George who says the kind thing to somebody. George is the one who first talks to Harry, the one when Harry first boards the train going to Hogwarts. George approaches him and says, "Hey, do you need help with your bag?" And then the first thing we hear from Fred is him like making fun of Percy. So there's a little bit of and so with that in mind, uh, I view Fred as more fiery, more passionate, and George as more respectful, somewhat more virtuous than Fred.
Exactly the type of detail I never pick up on. Well spoken. I'm sold. That's fantastic. I'd never considered that.
Yeah, I never picked up on much on the differences between them either. There was one time I was like, when I listen, I say I read these books all the time. That's a lie. I listen to them on Audible all the time. And there was one time on a listen through that I was like, I wonder if there is somewhat of a difference. And there were so many times I had to click the backspace 30 seconds to try to like, wait, which twin was it that said that thing? And then there's a podcast I listened to called Mugglecast that did a deep dive into breaking down the differences between the two. So listeners, check that episode out. But anyway, Sean, who's your next one?
Let's go to Ron just because I feel like we have to do it eventually. Right. And I think we have to go Ron as Earth just because the only means that Ron has of solving problem is usually brute force.
Yep.
There's some examples,
as well.
but like, and it's not even a ton of brute force all the time. That's his approach.
Yeah. He's very stubborn. He's very blunt.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely Earth to me as well.
Very blunt. Yeah. So not even like good. You know, we're talking about patience and opportunism. Even that's not Ron. Ron is just your run of the mill, like I can earthbender.
I'm thinking of like, there's a scene. I can't remember it. Scratch that. But
is it the one where they think Momo's the earthbender instead of, I forget who it's actually supposed to be. Katara. Yeah.
That's funny.
That is
it's
a good
Momo. Scene. Chris, who's your next one?
We haven't talked about this lady, Professor McGonagall.
Heck yeah.
Which I think would be God, I can't remember what I said. Probably a waterbender.
So just pick one, throw her somewhere.
I actually do think that McGonagall would be a good fit in water or a good fit in air because I think there's a creative use of her skills.
Especially as the transfiguration teacher.
Yeah, and I've always attributed it to her trying to achieve a high position as a woman in a field dominated by men, that she had to be more creative and more crafty. But water or air, I think you go either way.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more female teachers.
I was going for like a house head, but even that might be me just dramatizing for the sake of argument.
Yeah, there's also it's 2 and 2.
House heads. I got nothing. No, but I think you go water air, either one.
Fair enough. And then moving on, let's do Sean. How many more do you have?
What do I got here? I've got actually quite a few.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 left.
Okay. Let's more rapid fire through these, and then we'll wrap it all up.
I've got one super easy one. Luna is an airbender. That's
100%. Yeah.
That is, jeez.
Okay. What about Ginny? I think Ginny's got an easy answer. Do you guys think Ginny has an easy answer?
Fire.
Easy. I wrote Earth. I thought about it. There's too much like chutzpah.
Yeah, Chris wouldn't know this from the movies, but in the books, she is like the most willful,
really
incredible character. She is
very stubborn in an Earth way, which is why I went Earth first. But it fits better.
Her fans hate the movies for that?
Oh, they do, and it's like a point of contention. Because like Bonnie Wright didn't do a bad job, I don't think. Like Bonnie Wright did what was asked of her. So no shade at the actress. But book Ginny is very much like
Oh my gosh.
Incredibly sassy, incredibly fiery.
Oh,
Um,
really? Is she
she
the
get like
toss of the group?
Water her down.
is she what?
That's pretty bad.
Is
She
she
said
the
the
is
movies
she the
water her down.
is she the toss of the group?
Oh, I think so. I think
There is a hidden
Yeah.
power to her magic, Chris, that would suggest that she is tough. And again, I went
What
Earth
the
because
heck?
there's a stubbornness to her.
Yeah.
But I really think that stubbornness actually manifests better as like drive, like firebender drive.
Yeah. Her number one spell that she's known for is called the Bat Bogey Hex. And she does this against people who piss her off. She will do a spell where she it's a curse that she hits you with it, and it turns your boogers into bats that fly out of your nose. And like really
Which we need more of in the movie. And Barry, I've got 3 more. I'm just gonna list them, and if you want to
Do
go
it.
with them, great. And if not, that's fine. But I got Lily, Lupin, and Peter were the last 3 that I had listed.
Cool.
There is one character that we have not done that wasn't on my list. Draco.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, is Draco on my list? Yeah, I have him in fire.
He's so political and racist. No, I think fire is a pretty good fit.
Yeah, just very again, if we're looking at the word willful and disagreeable, I think I'd put him in that one as well.
Manipulative.
Honor is as far as like he's not honor, but he is
familial honor.
Yeah, that's the one. Where did you have Lily?
I went water with Lily because I sense a really great dynamic balance of highly skill and emotion to her. I guess playing both sides, the offense and defense. That feels like Lily to me. Literal defense. She gave her life playing defense that turned to offense, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I had her in water. I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot to say that. Yeah.
Chrissy gets so little of Lily in the movies, but to be fair, we don't get much more of Lily in the books other than what you're told.
She did.
She did. She ain't coming back.
She just gets held by Snape.
That's it.
She's really just a tool for an infatuation for Snape.
She's a dead weight bender. And then I only put Lupin and Peter in my list just to like have the whole 4 friend group there.
Yeah.
I don't know how important those are.
How about you're so wrong with Lupin?
Am I wrong with Lupin?
What did you say for Lupin?
I put air. The chocolate, right? The chocolate to me was air. Like you're solving a problem with chocolate. That's an airbender thing.
Literally how it's done, though. That's not. He didn't get to just
that's a good point.
That.
That's a good point. The only thing I would say that makes him air would be that he's like very reflective,
he's
and
very
virtuous,
thought provoking.
Yeah. What does your wife think he is?
What do you got?
I think he's water, and like think of how the moon controls him.
But that's not his character. That's a byproduct of his circumstance.
But it is heavily ironic.
It is funny. I'll give you that. I'm sticking air. I think he's an airbender. I think he is a go with the flow type. He's the number 3 batter in that lineup. You know,
flow is literally water.
It's fair also. But not.
Thank you for making my point.
Go with the flow like through an HVAC vent, Heather.
Yeah, air flows.
Air flows. That's where air and water feel similar sometimes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Go with the flow is literally water.
He's the group airbender. That group needs an airbender.
Honestly, not to argue with Heather and get into semantics, but is go with the flow related to water? I mean, there is a flow. That's probably both.
Anything.
I think of it more so with air. Go with the flow of where the wind takes you.
I always think go with the flow of where the river takes you. Yeah.
All thermodynamics, any fluid, which is air and water, flows.
Did you just call air a fluid?
Right? Thermodynamics, don't they refer to air as a fluid?
Only if there's mist in the air.
We're out of our depth here.
We are. It's too sciencey for me. I see what you did there. There's parallels with air and water. You could sell me. I'm sticking air personally. He solves the problem with a chocolate frog.
Where do we think Peter's going?
We argued over what air flow. What flow?
Air flow. We talked about Sister Act and argued about thermodynamics. And then, I put Peter in fire just because he clearly just, like, sucks up for power, you know what I mean? Like, he's just befriending the right people. That feels like a firebender move.
That's fair. That's fair. Then I will rapid fire through mine as well. I had Victor Crumb as an earthbender, because he's very just a solid dude, very
Yeah.
blunt.
Shortest route to the solution.
Exactly. So Victor Crumb, earthbender. I had Gilderoy Lockhart as an airbender.
Because he's an
Very,
I
airhead.
don't know who that is.
That's the stupid teacher from the second movie, Chris.
It's Hercule Poirot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's just very conflict avoidant, like he's erasing people's
extreme.
memories, so there's no issue.
Okay.
And then I would have Cornelius Fudge as an airbender for the same reason. Just
Okay.
trying to avoid issues.
He's like a bad kind of airbender
Yeah.
in like a political way.
Mm-hmm. Then I had Cedric Diggory as an earthbender.
That's a fun one. Give me water for Cedric. I sense him being
Water
able
for
to do a
Cedric.
little bit of everything.
Yeah. This one's my favorite one. I had Uncle Vernon as a firebender. Because he's very passionate, very aggressive, and very disagreeable.
And he tells a joke that he literally refers to as the Japanese golfer joke, which I can assume is not a couth joke.
And then I had Filch as an earthbender as well. Very stubborn guy.
He's an Earth colony national who cannot earthbend.
Yeah.
It's the proper.
And I just have some more silly ones. Sir Cadogan, who is the knight in the frame. Yeah. He's a firebender. He's very, very fiery. If he's like
feisty fella.
He's very feisty. That's a good word for it.
Do you even get him in the movies?
You do. In the movie, you see him just hopping from frame to frame. He has a deleted scene, but in the actual movie, you just see him in the background. In the book, Sir Cadogan
Release
is this
the Durgan cut.
He is this character who, like, anytime the kids see him, he's always trying to pick a fight. I just read the other day, he was like, you rapscallions, you dirty dogs. And he's like challenging them to a fight. And then they say, we're trying to find the North Tower. And he goes, well, a quest. Follow me. And so very fiery, very excitable guy.
Let's, on a different time, on a different podcast, on a different day, let's talk about pictures in Harry Potter, because I have so many qualms with how the pictures in Harry Potter work.
Let's do it. And then another firebender, Aragog. The giant spider.
He's so insightful that he's almost a respectful.
I was thinking air.
Aragog? He literally lets his family eat people.
Yeah, but
he's not nice.
An insightful comet.
I know. I meant he'd be like an Iroh firebender because he's affiliated with crime and his family, but he personally isn't a bad guy.
I don't know. He like sucked his kids onto like sicked them onto
it. Did. He's like, who am I to deny my kids you for dinner?
Sorry, you're dead meat.
I'm gonna clear Hagrid's name and then prevent the people that can clear Hagrid's name from leaving.
Yeah,
he didn't. That was not very insightful. Chris, just to reference our list, where do you put Professor Umbridge? Just to reference the qualm list of grievance levels.
Where do I list her?
She's surely a firebender, right? Like political loyalty and such. I just want to say Umbridge on a podcast.
It's either I'm going Earth. I feel like she's more stubborn and but you are
opportunistic, blunt.
She is that, but she's so manipulative. She'd be like Earth politician or just straight up fire.
Mm-hmm. And then I think the last two I had Cho Chang, waterbender. She's very, very talented, very a person who can do a whole lot of different things, very versatile. So I'd put her in water. And then Ferenz, the centaur, I have him as air because the centaurs are very like introspective. The centaurs are into astrology,
But
watching the stars.
But wasn't he ready to throw hands with Voldemort?
He saved Harry from Voldemort when Voldemort, like the shadow, the cloak Voldemort in the first movie attacked. But other than that, like the Centaur motto is like, we don't change history. Like we don't change what the stars predict. We respect what the stars say. So I view him more as an airbender.
Harry just got like he got the one airbender that was willing to kick Voldemort.
It makes me think of in the book, again, not a movie thing, but Voldemort is on the back of Professor Quirrell's head, wrapped up in his turban. And during Christmas, the Weasley twins throw a bunch of snowballs and bewitch them to attack Quirrell's turban. And so literally the Weasley twins threw snowballs at Voldemort.
It's fantastic. Fantastic.
But yeah, that's all I got. That's pretty much everything. Did you guys have any others you wanted to discuss, or was that it for you?
We covered my list and then some.
Fantastic.
I can't wait to talk about Sister Act with you guys next time. It's gonna be a fun episode.
Did Heather have any she wanted to throw in?
Heather, any more to toss in?
I'm just glad you brought up Lupin. I'd waited forever for that one.
You were really looking for the Lupin, the water play?
Well, guys, thank you so much. This was wonderful. This is like what I often imagined listening to the show. I'd be like, oh, if I could just chime in, this would be so cool. So it's really cool. The listeners, please check out their podcast. If you're a fan at all of Avatar, you will love it. They do. I mean, much of my show is inspired by what they do, especially when they would go through episodes of just recapping what happens and then like rating and talking about the show afterwards. Many ways they taught me everything I know. So great podcast. Please check them out. Where can they find you guys?
You can find us on YouTube. The YouTube channel is called Avatar: The Last Podcasters. Also, you can find us in various podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts. Review us out there. We only have one bad review. Comes from our ships episode. That person did not like our ship, and I did. I love the review because it's funny.
Did he not like that you were shipping, or did he not like the shipping that was done?
That person was not fond of the way that I interacted with Jamie, and maybe
I remember that.
Had a different interpretation. But
that was silly.
Listen, you can't change how people perceive things.
Yeah, that was silly. I hope you're not affected by that. I remember you guys talking. I hope that doesn't bother you.
I think Jamie joined us on a further podcast after that, so that made me unaffected by it.
Mm-hmm. I still talk to Jamie because we both watch Big Brother. You can also find us on whatever Google Podcast is using. Oh, they use YouTube. That's right. Catch
Spotify.
Me out on Twitter. I'm still on Spotify. There we go. I'm still on Twitter. It's still calling Twitter. I'm still there at The Objective Geek, and I am on Threads and on Blue Sky. Just search The Objective Geek. And again, cool. I know Sean's about to say where it's from. But Barry, thank you for having us on. This has been great. Great to meet you. And I am legitimately taken aback or honored by your very kind words for us. It means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for saying such very flattering things, because I definitely do blush on camera, and it's very meaningful to have people actually. I don't know. It's crazy to think somebody's actually been listening that long. So thanks a bunch, and thanks for having us on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, your first ever podcast I listened to, it helped bond me and my wife while we were dating, something that we would just play in the car as we would discuss Avatar theories and vehemently disagree with Chris over some of his takes, or talk about, Sean, why didn't you press the point on this subject?
I am so curious I'm very curious, what points is just Chris is crazy, or what is Chris thinking? One thing, because I love disagreeing with people. It's sounds weird. I love having conversations and different opinions about things. Sean,
different perspectives, discussing different perspectives.
Yeah, I love it, because I'm either we're either gonna talk about it and talk about our different viewpoints and stuff. My viewpoint might change on something. Your other person might change, but the conversation is so great. like I said, I love hearing different opinions about things. Like I welcome it.
I'll
And
tell you my hottest take on your podcast once I wrap up the recording. But listeners, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Next week, it's Labor Day. Or is it Labor Day or Memorial Day? Which
Labor Day.
Labor Day. It's Labor Day.
Memorial
And,
Day. I always remember Memorial Day starts with the M and it's May M. That's how I
ooh,
remember it.
There you go, listeners. You can remember Memorial Day that way. But thank you for listening. Next week, there is no episode. No episode next week. That is our week off. And then back to weekly coverage, going through The Prisoner of Azkaban. Got a whole lot of really cool guests lined up for you, and we're looking forward to it. So everybody, thank you for listening. Goodbye. And then